But let's start off with the running backs. And we heard from Breece Hall, who makes the love list, not losing faith in the team.
I think we have a very strong nucleus of our team, and our coaches do a very good job of bringing the juice every day and keeping us in it. But I wouldn't say I'm necessarily worried. We still gotta, like I said, show up to work every day. Guys got families to feed. Guys got kids to take care of. There's a lot of other parts of motivation. Guys are natural competitors as well. So, like I said, I wouldn't be as worried about, the morale of the team. I think we all are very hungry and all want to win.
If you listen closely, he's almost able to talk himself into it. No, that was the most uninspiring, we still believe in ourselves talk I've ever heard.
That man done brought the kids into it.
Yeah, we got kids to feed? Like, you're an NFL running back.
Yeah.
The kids
Don't
not in trouble.
kids watch that.
He also said that he's not worried. I'd be very worried if I was Breece Hall about the New York Jets and their current state. But, Matthew, if you're ever going to get right, it's going to be against the Cincinnati Bengals defense. Breece Hall comes in at number 8 in the rankings.
Aloha Brick saying Breece Hall looks like he's forced to read a teleprompter. Free Breece. Good point, Aloha Brick. Strong comment. Absolutely. It definitely had a hostage video feel to it. Like, I'm definitely not being held against my will. I'm definitely happy here. Here's what I will say about Breece Hall. You see him right there. He's number 8. You have to couch everything with the idea, there are 6 teams on a bye, and we also have a ton of injuries to deal with. So the ranks look differently than they might. And I hear you out there. I already know what you're saying. You're saying, listen, Barry, you put Breece Hall on the love list last week, and then some of us clapped back at you, said, really, against the Carolina Panthers defense, they're pretty good? And I said, yeah, but they've been struggling against pass-catching running backs, and I believe that Justin Fields will be – there's no way Justin Fields is going to be as bad as he was the week before. And so, yeah, Breece Hall's on the live list. That was last week. I was wrong. That was wrong. You guys were right. He should not have been on the love list. He stunk last week. The Jets stunk last week. Justin Fields stunk for a second week in a row. And yet, here I am, back again. Make no mistake, the love list at least is bold. At least I'm back again. And the reason is you had me at Cincinnati, right? Every single game this year, Jay Croucher, the Cincinnati Bengals have allowed at least 16.9 fantasy points to a running back. So you're telling me there's going to be a running back that gets at least 16.9 fantasy points in this game. Well, Breece Hall is a running back.
There he is.
Ipso, ergo, facto, ipso facto, bingo, bango, obviously.
Bang it out, Derek.
Right.
Bang it out.
Ergo, Breece Hall makes the love list. He gets a lot of work here, especially if Tyrod Taylor is under center and he's less than 100%. I think they hand off quite a bit. Running backs that have seen at least 15 touches against your Cincinnati Bengals, Lawrence, are averaging almost 20 fantasy points per game. Aloha Brick's on fire today.
Aloha Bricks. Breece Hall got the same energy when Connor found out he lost to Todd Zeal for the Emmy. It's a very good comment. By the way, Connor just lost again yesterday. Another loss. That's why he's not here today. He'll be back tomorrow after he loses another Emmy.
We have started to, just so everyone knows, we have here at the Happy Hour, we have started to look actively for awards that Connor is good enough to get nominated for, but not win. Because we like that bit so much.
Yes.
We want him to. So anyone out there, we've put him up for a Webby Award.
Right here.
Yeah, what do you got?
I got you one right here. Because he hosts this show 4 out of the 5 days a week. Jay hosting right now, right? So you can have a Fantasy Football Happy Hour Host of the Year award. He's certainly good enough to win that.
Yeah.
Right. But he won't.
But because he's not the only one who does it, well then.
Yeah, that's going to be a peacocky. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. If you want a strong bet, Connor gets nominated but loses Host of the Year in the Peacockies at the end of the year.
I actually recently found out, it's like the 40 under 40, like Sports Business Journal does. I think Forbes does as well. Connor came 41st. So I just narrowly missed out.
Wait, hold on.
40.
Hold on.
Yeah, he was the honorable
on
mention.
it.
Yeah.
And he was 41, and you were.
First or second. Yeah. I don't believe they list 1 to 40.
They don't put it in order. But
any case. All right, moving on. Devin Achane. It's been an up and down season, mostly down for the Miami Dolphins. Achane has had his moments, though, and if he's ever going to get right, it's going to be in a game against the Atlanta Falcons' run defense, which cured Christian McCaffrey's efficiency. And I get that George Kittle came back, and that was probably a big part of it. It's not like George Kittle turns you from a 3 yards per carry running back into a 5.5 yards per carry running back. The Falcons, they just don't have big people on their defensive line or on their defense. They can be run on, and if the Dolphins are ever going to lean into the run, touchdown, it's going to be after Tua Tagovailoa just threw a million picks against the Browns. So I think that the Dolphins, they try and establish the run and they lean on Devin Achane.
I really like that call, Jay, because even when you go before that 49ers game, when the Falcons played the Bills, they were all over the passing game and Josh Allen and getting pressure. They went to James Cook in the third quarter. He had 9 carries for 53 yards against the Falcons. It was working. And they just stopped doing it. Well, the 49ers wasn't that dumb. They're not going to take the ball out of their running back's hands. And Christian McCaffrey has his best game on the ground last week. So I do see it. And for that reason, the Falcons aren't stout up front on defense, but they're fast and athletic. So that definitely makes sense there.
Their strength of the defense is that secondary, which is the number 1 pass defense over the last 4 weeks, but they're 29th against the run over the last month. So I'm with you on Devin Achane.
Yep. King Henry, another guy who can get up off the schneid, is superstar quarterback Lamar Jackson is back, and he has a matchup against the Bears where the Ravens are pushing towards touchdown favorites.
Yeah, off the bye, hopefully Henry is a little bit fresher. I have a friend that literally tried to trade for Derrick Henry, offered me Quinshon Judkins.
You don't want to do that?
I'm still thinking about it. I have to literally think about this week, and I do love him this week. Again, I need to win this week, Lawrence. I'm playing Adam. This is my Super Bowl. This is my chance to get up the schneid, to put a W on the board here as well. My awful team, the worst team I've ever owned in fantasy football in 30-plus years of playing. At any rate, he's playing the Bears. Literally only two teams in the NFL have given up more 20-yard runs to running backs than the Chicago Bears. And running backs that see at least 10 or more carries against Chicago, averaging 5.4 yards per carry. Obviously, they're going to run Derrick Henry quite a bit. Ravens actually have the 3rd highest implied team total in Week 8. So I have Henry as a top 10 play. I know it hasn't been great. Believe me. No one knows it better than I how it hasn't been great. But in a game where the over-under is 49.5, we expect a lot of points to be scored. The Ravens, believe it or not, are actually 6-point favorites at home, despite the fact that Bears are 4-2, right? The Bears are
4-2.
Bears are 4-2, and the Bears are 1-5 or whatever. Ravens are 1-5.
They're still almost favorites to win that division. Like them and the Steelers is real close right now. But Derrick Henry had a good time, a good game last time out. 24 carries, 122 yards versus the Rams when they had Cooper Rush. So. He's solid. He's getting a little better now that you get Lamar back. They're touchdown favorites. You see the implied team total. I see Derrick Henry getting in the end zone.
Yeah, I think he easily could get in maybe twice, so we will see. If I end up trading him to Jay for Quinshon Judkins, he will absolutely score twice, probably 3 times.
Or James Cook,
Yeah,
no. The one concern with Henry is that even when he had Lamar, outside of the Week 1 against Buffalo, he wasn't the Derrick Henry of last year, or at least it wasn't the rushing offense of last year. Didn't really do much against Detroit, didn't do much against Kansas City.
He had
but
the
still
one run against Detroit.
Had the one touchdown run, but still trust for the most part in the talent of Henry. And Lamar Jackson, obviously, such a cheat code. Another guy who has a good chance of getting to the end zone, Lawrence, is Isaiah Pacheco, who plays his Commanders, and the Chiefs are pushing towards 2 touchdown favorites at this point.
Yeah, it's the same thing I mentioned about Pacheco when we did pregame. They were 11.5-point favorites against the Raiders. Now they sit here as 12.5-point favorites versus your Commanders, Matthew. Now, Pacheco got his first rushing touchdown of the season, so that's not the thing I'm
I'm aware. He's on Lawrence's team. He's on Lawrence's team.
I had to start him.
Right.
I didn't do it like happily. I just had to do it.
But of course, the only time this entire effing season that Isaiah Pacheco actually falls in the end zone is when he's against me on Lawrence's team last week.
But the beauty of it was, it still wasn't inside the 5 because they will not give Isaiah Pacheco a carry inside the 5. Look, but the thing is, he had a season high 15 carries. That's the important part. It seems like they're shifting more to Pacheco as he starts to look more like himself. Brashard Smith getting in there a little bit, but they're moving towards Pacheco. And because the Commanders have the 12th worst rushing defense in the NFL, then I like Pacheco's chances again this week.
Great comment from Raise the Flags, Barry, on Monday after his loss. We all have families to feed. I still believe in my team.
Yeah, totally. It's definitely this. Let's go to camera 1 right now. I'll tell you. Look, we all have families to feed. I still believe in my fantasy team. Yeah. Next question. Yeah, is that Breece Hall energy?
Breece Berry.
Breece Berry. Thank you.
Isaiah Pacheco.
There you go. Master thespian right here.
Very favorable matchup. The one thing, and it's not just the Kareem Hunt thing, it's the fact that when they do get in close, there's a little undercover. Patrick Mahomes become a bit of an Aaron Rodgers touchdown merchant inside the 5. They love checking into pass play. Had the little kind of jump pass play to Rashee Rice. It's not really a pass.
Rack up them. Look, when the Chiefs saw Matthew Stafford still throwing 1-yard touchdown passes to Devontae Smith, Patrick Mahomes says, oh no, I got to get
Devontae Adams, but yes.
Yeah, what'd I say?
Devontae Smith.
Oh, definitely Devontae Adams, not Devontae Smith.
Very different players.
Yeah, very different players.
A lot of touchdowns.
Both good, very different players.
All right, let's jump
But I agree with you. There's a little bit of like just stat padding with Mahomes. Because he can, by the way.
Tony Romo was very upset about it on the broadcast.
Yeah,
he was like, I did it once. I didn't know I could do this my whole career. I could have racked up an extra 40 touchdowns along the journey. But if they can do it, credit to it. It's not like Rashee Rice wants a rushing touchdown anyway. He wants receiving touchdowns too. Of
course.
All right, let's get to others receiving votes, headlined by Uncle Rico, who has not a great matchup against Buffalo in terms of game script, but it is a defense that can be run on.
Yeah, the Buffalo's allowing the 3rd most rushing yards per game to running backs last year, and at least this year, and at least last week. Dowd will average 5.3 yards per touch, Hubbard just 3.4. How about Tajay Spears in a negative game script against your Colts? Titans a 14-point underdog. Tajay Spears back-to-back games with at least 40% of the snaps and a 12% target share. And finally, Tyler Algier. Again, in games in which Tyler Algier, in wins this season, this stat's unbelievable to me. In games that the Falcons win this year, Lawrence, Tyler Algier averages 14.7 touches. In games that the Falcons win, Tyler Algier is getting almost 15 touches a game. Falcons are 7.5-point favorites here. And so I just think they like to run. They don't use Bijan as much when they feel like they've got the – so always a chance to get into the end zone here, and there's no team giving up more rushing yards per game over the last 4 weeks than the Miami Dolphins. So I do think in a buy-mageddon-type week, Algier is a viable flex.
Yep. 100%. There's a lot of chatter about, or at least a lot of quotes about, Bijan Robinson's the best player in the NFL. His coaches like to say that. Bijan Robinson's incredible. He may well be the best running back in the NFL. He only gets 59% of his team's carries.
Yes.
Like, that's a real thing. And it lessens his value and it increases Tyler Algier's value because Tyler Algier is just legitimately good. It's 2 different coaching staffs now that have believed in Tyler Algier to give him plenty of work. So, he's not going away. And he's
a good
startable.
Change of pace for them, too, for Atlanta.
He's a very good player.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBCSports.com and RotoWorld.com. And I want to thank you so much for watching whatever it is you just watched. Or if nothing else, being too lazy to click out of the autoplay after this video started, after whatever it is you actually wanted to watch finished. But now that you're here, I'd like to take a moment here to ask you respectfully now, okay? I'm asking you respectfully to subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel. You'll get the latest Roto-World fantasy news headlines, all sorts of great shows, including my own Fantasy Football Happy Hour. So go subscribe now. Again, I'm asking respectfully.